Yo, as soon as y'all come in, if you don't mind sharing this video, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes before I get started. But if you don't mind sharing this video, I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that screen, show some love. I'll probably be on here maybe 20, 30 minutes, and then I'm off. I'm gonna get to the point, and I'm gonna get off of here. But when you come in, can you please share the video and double tap that screen for me if you don't mind? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be on here for too long. But I just want to get to the point. But I'm gonna wait till a few more viewers come on here, tap that screen, show me some love, and share this shit. For your page, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Feel what I'm saying? Y'all know the routine. I'm gonna wait for a few more viewers to get on. I'm just gonna ask you to be respectful. My mods probably sleep. I don't want to turn the comments off. If you don't like what you're seeing, you can keep scrolling. You know what I'm saying? I just ask you to respect me. But I'll probably be on here for like 20, 30 minutes, if that. And then I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to get up off of here. If you're not following me on Facebook, I did have to start over again. So it's no heart. All of this information is on my TikTok page. It's like in the third or fourth row. I got to start all over. Somebody was, being vindictive. We got haters, so that's okay. I don't mind starting over, but the thing about that is I had that page for 15 years, and I have memories that I can't get back. Pictures of my daughter, memories, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't start over plenty of times, but it's just a simple fact. When you can't get memories back, that's like the fucked up part. But yeah, I just want y'all to share this video as soon as you come in. For your page, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm gonna give it like 30 seconds to a minute, and then I'm gonna get right to it, and I'm gonna get up off of here. So if you're not following me, like I said, Facebook, my page is No Heart. Snapchat, I'm TB Grimmett. Of course, y'all on here, so y'all know what my name is. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wait, like I said, for like another minute or so, and then I'm gonna get right into it. I really don't want to repeat myself, but you know, um, that's why I keep it up here so you can rewatch or whatever. I am a Leo. You know what I'm saying? I do got a goal up there. So, my goal is two of these every week until my birthday come, but it is what it is. So it is a lion. I am a lion. Any Leos in the house, it's our time. You feel me? So I'm gonna see. I got 4. I really don't know. 5. I'm gonna try to wait till I get 10 and then start. If I don't get that in the next 30 seconds, then I'm gonna go ahead on and get started. So, like I said, everything I've been talking about, if you've been following me, it's all on my TikTok page. It's also on my Facebook page as well, which is public. If you believe in my story, believe in my truth, I just ask you to share it. You know what I'm saying? Share it. You know what I mean? Um, so I got 7. If I can just get 2, 3 more, then you know what I mean? That'll be enough for me. So like I said, all positive vibes. You can ask me anything you want to ask me. No disrespect. If you get disrespectful, then I will turn off the comments. I don't think any of my mods are in here, but if you are, let me know. I would appreciate gifts. It don't have to be the lion, but that's my birthday goal. You can send me gifts. I just ask y'all to tap the screen, show me love, and I want y'all to share this video. Everybody in here just share it. It's free. You know what I'm saying? And it's truth and it's facts. All right, y'all, I'm going to get right into it. So, if you haven't been following me, I decided to tell my story, which I have told before. You know what I'm saying? And you can go to my page, my TikTok page, or my Facebook page, and you can watch it. But I will recap real quick. So, I was molested, from the ages in Fort Wayne. You know what I'm saying? We're going to just talk about Fort Wayne. I was molested from the ages of 11 to 15. All right. It started at the church I used to go to, Community Baptist Church, Fort Wayne, Indiana. The first one was, his name was Philip. All of this is on my TikTok, so you can go check it out. I got the stories, I got the pictures, I got all of that. All right. Um, the other ones were Terry Griffin, which he came after Philip left. He was a musician as well. And the third one was Moselle Davis, senior. And I say senior because I told this story about 2016, 2017 on Facebook on my original page. And he got wind of it. And he was like, oh, someone is at that church, the church that day. And he was like, yeah, he talked about it today. And he was like, I don't know what's going on with all these stories on Facebook, but it's not me. They must be talking about my son. So I have to emphasize senior. All right. So, like I said, I'm gonna recap. I'm trying to keep it like 30 minutes or so. So basically, I was 11. You know, musician Philip, he molested me or whatnot. Like I said, you can go watch the story. And like I said before, I think the only person that believed me at the time was my Uncle Matt. You feel me? So basically, I had chicken pox when it came out in the church. You know what I'm saying? I was at home for a week with chicken pox. And, you know, they must have a vaccine now because I haven't seen a chicken pox in years. So my Uncle Mac, he came over after church. And, you know, we was in the kitchen, me and my cousin, you know, Keita. And he was like, he came in, he said, Shirley, I need to talk to you. So, you know, I don't know, you know, as a kid, you know, you guys got that feeling like something ain't right or something wrong or, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't think that it was that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking like maybe somebody had passed or did, you know what I mean? Something like that. So she told us to go to the room, but, you know, the kitchen kind of echoed. So, you know, you heard it anyway. So basically, I had confided in a woman at the church and I had wrote her like a 12-page letter. And I'm not going to speak upon her name, but she had gave a letter to my uncle. And, you know, my uncle got a hold of it and, you know, told at the time, you know, I was calling her my mother. You feel me? And I'm not going to mention her name, okay? So anyway, so they talking in the kitchen, this and that. And they talked about 20, 30 minutes. And then I just, you know, kept hearing her say, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. What? What? You know, like, you feel what I'm saying? So boom, my uncle left and she called me in the kitchen and everything. So I sat down and she was like, what is this I hear about you and Philip? So basically, you know, I knew that she knew, you feel me? And I just, you know, told her. She didn't believe a word that I said. And the thing that always plays back in my head, even to the day, what do a 41-year-old man, what would a 41-year-old man want with an 11-year-old girl? I was 11 at the time, 30 years apart. And it's like no matter what I said, she didn't believe me. I got my ass whooped with chicken pox. So when I went back to church, you know, I never felt this feeling in my life. Phil, I ain't gonna lie to you. Back then, we was like the baddest choir. He was one of the baddest, the best musicians in the city, tops, down. You know what I'm saying? He was like a Kirk Franklin. He couldn't sing, but he was good at what he did. You know what I'm saying? So when I went back to the church, everybody looked at me like just with disgust. You feel me? Like I wasn't a victim. You feel me? And it's like I didn't really understand then, but it's like I'm the victim here. But it's like they didn't believe it. They didn't believe it. So another reason why they didn't believe it, or maybe because he was bisexual. Now people wasn't really out of the closet back then, but if you knew, you knew. You know what I'm saying? Basically. So all I know is I don't know what my Uncle Max said or whatever, because I wasn't, you know, there. But I remember, you know, when me and him talked. And Philip ended up going to Good Hope. You hear me? When I say damn near the choir went with him, half of the congregation went with him. And it's like, at that time, you know, I was like kind of fucked up because I'm like, knowing what he did, and y'all followed him, but people thought I was lying. You know what I'm saying? People really didn't believe me. didn't believe me at all. But I really think that the only person who believed me at that time was my uncle. And I remember, these words that I'll never forget. My uncle, he said, um, he pulled him in the office with me. And we was all in the office. And he said, if you ever touch my niece, if you ever come near my niece or do something to my niece, he said, not only am I a pastor, I'm a detective as well. You feel me? And he said, you'll come up missing and nobody will ever find you. And I believe that. You feel me? I believe that. And it's like, I felt protected because I'm like, didn't nobody believe me? So we end up leaving, went to Good Hope, boom. All right. Like I said, the church, the congregation just looked at me like I was a liar. And I'm talking about when this story went viral at the time, around the city, it went viral. You know what I mean? But it's like everybody looked at me like, I can't even explain the words. Like I was the predator here, and you know what I mean? So, boom. Okay, after he left, here come Terry. And I remember when Terry came, his first night there, we was actually in revival. And I'm looking over, I'm just looking like, who is that? You know what I mean? So I think my Uncle Mac introduced him like towards the end of revival or something. I really don't remember, but I remember that night. Because I forget the pastor name. But every year we had this pastor was he from Tuscaloosa? I don't know. But I loved him. I can't even remember. And when they say when you get older and smoking weed to kill your brain cells, not saying it like that, but I'm damn near 40. I'll be 39 next month, but I cannot I cannot remember his name. He could sing, and I like old school pastors. Like when I connect with pastors, like my pastor here is Harold Johnson. You feel me? And we're gonna keep going to the story. But yeah, so I think my Uncle Mac introduced him, and like this is the new musician. Woo, woo, woo. And I ain't even gonna lie. When I say, and I'm gonna keep it real, I'm like, when I heard Terry play and went to the few rehearsals and stuff, I didn't like him. I was like, he wasn't a good player. He wasn't a good choir director, but he did his thing. I was just like, man, this is no Philip. All right. But I'm saying I'm trying to put this all in, but the story is long. I'm also writing a book and everything. So yeah, just bear with me. But if you want to go, and check it out, these on my TikTok page. I got like 3 or 4 stories as well as my Facebook. My Facebook is No Heart. Please follow me. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna fast forward it, right? So I was a musician. Like I played the drums. How I got connected with Philip because I wanted to play the keys. But I was on the drums and I would have a skirt, and a towel over it. So when Terry came, I still was a drummer. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Not the main drummer, because we had, a few drummers. But anyway, so how he started doing his thing, okay, this is the thing about it. When this happened with Philip, okay, let me tell you something about predators and child molesters. The whole city. I mean, even I remember it had even got to where he ain't even living no more. I think Bishop Jesse White, he was the pastor of True Love Baptist Church. It even got to him because Philip tried to go to his church. And you know what I'm saying? He got turned down a lot, but I don't know how he got in a Good Hope, and I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about child molesters, he already knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew what was going on. Like, everybody knew. Okay? So when you molest a child, didn't nobody file no charges. See, I'm grown now. You see what I'm saying? This is why, and I'm gonna keep it real, why I don't have a relationship with most of my family. You hear me? Even when he did that, who was supposed to be my parents at the time didn't protect me. I have never had a mother-daughter relationship who I stayed with. And I'm not gonna mention her name. You know what I'm saying? But if you know, you know. You hear me? No charges was filed. That also made me look and feel neglected, feel like I wasn't protected. So I was 11. You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody as a mother, if my daughter or whoever, I'm looking at you, you're my daughter, not my blood daughter, but my mom put it in her will for me to come up here. And I'm speaking all facts and I'm grown now. Not only that, my mom wrote a check for them. Also, I was getting a monthly check from my father at the time that was deceased, my mother at the time that was deceased. You feel me? And I had certificates of deposits that I got when I was 18. All right. So, boom, child molester, and the predator knows, like, hey, this is the point I'm trying to make. When Terry molested me, didn't nobody believe me about Philip. Why speak up on it when ain't nobody gonna believe me? So they know that ain't nobody gonna believe you. Who you gonna tell they ain't gonna believe you? Look what they did. You know what I'm saying about Philip. What did they do? I mean, well, I'm gonna say this. My uncle, well, his word is his bond. You feel me? His word is his bond. And I believe that was enough. That's why I said I'm not going after him. Because I'm gonna fast forward it real quick. In my eyes, Philip got his revenge. You hear me? Because what's done in the darkness always gonna come in the light. Before he left here, he was messing with underage boys as well. So what I hear was he ended up moving to Pennsylvania or something and end up messing with a teenager, and his parents was in a high position. I don't know, doctor, lawyer, judge, I don't know. And he ended up, getting charged, registered as a sex offender. Don't quote me, but that's what I heard. So in my eyes, when my Uncle Mac said that to him, that ain't no expiration date. That was a lifetime, not a threat, a promise. You hear me? I feel like he was the only one that protected me. But in my eyes too, if you're my child, I'm gonna do something about this. You hear me? So anyway, Terry started, saying things to me and this and that. And we went to Alabama. And at this time, I wasn't living in the home. I had asked who I was living with to relinquish their rights. And that's another story. So I stayed in a hotel with a church member, and I was coming out the room because all the kids and stuff, they was in the lobby. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to go down there. She's like, all right, woo. As I'm coming out the room, Terry in the hallway. So he was like, yeah, I'll walk you down there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm walking and stuff. And Terry was a maintenance man. I forget the apartments though, but he was a maintenance man. So we was walking down the hallway and he was like, yeah, they ain't here. And so he popped the door open with like a hotel card or something. I swear to God. I swear. These are things that you'll never forget. You know what I'm saying? He popped the door open. I didn't know it was a closet. You hear me? It didn't say a closet on there. You know what I mean? So walking in the room, I said, damn, I said it's dark. And he was like, yeah, they back here. Took me back there and not like choke me, but he put force on me. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, you better not scream, you better not say nothing, or I'll do something to you and ain't nobody gonna believe you anyway. Now, this may get a little bit, we adults here, that was the first time a man had oral sex on me. And that's what he did right away. You hear me? And then he did the other thing. At that point, I felt like, who gonna believe me? And we're not talking about just one time out of all these men. I'm talking about multiple times. You hear me? I didn't feel protected. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna believe you. So if you had to go through this to understand what I'm saying, when you molested that first time, and in the whole city and your family think you lying, so why open up your mouth again? At this point, that's the door wide open for predators to attack you because they know what you're going through. You're vulnerable, and ain't nobody gonna believe you. Okay, so boom. Fast forward. Like I said, the story goes. It's more, but I'm just trying to. You feel me? Get to the point. What I'm trying to make, and then recap. So Moselle Davis. Okay. If you're a pastor, you have to have a home church. See, back then I really didn't get the shit. You feel me? So he's the pastor of Tree of Life, but he ended up joining our church, Community Baptist Church, if that makes sense. I never forget that day neither. Okay. So one day, as an usher, okay, so I worked at this Sunday, I was working the certain door that I was working, at a certain time, you open it, you go down, you get the pastors, you knock on the door, you escort the pastors to the pulpit, and then you go back to your door. Okay. So this particular time I was working the door, and I went down there, got my Uncle Mac, Moselle, and I think Brother JoJo. I think that was it, but I don't remember. I think that was at least them three. So I take him to the pulpit, and at this time, really, when you at the door right there, it's, it's kind of over with, but then you got to come back at a certain time. So I end up going to the bathroom. Okay. So as I'm coming out the bathroom, I guess Moselle must have went back to the office or something like that. Or I don't know. But he was in the hallway when I came out the bathroom. Get it? I want y'all to share this video. If you don't mind, please share, please share, please share. You can send me gifts. It doesn't have to be the lion, but that's my goal by my birthday. I need love. I need support. So please, you know what I'm saying? Do some of that. Sharing is free. That don't cost nothing. Hitting the screen is free. That don't cost nothing. You know what I'm saying? And the point I'm trying to make right now, you feel me? And I'll get to that. But I need all y'all to share this video, if you don't mind. You feel me? Thank you for the gifts. If you believe or you done been through some shit like this, or it look, especially in the black families, you feel me? This ain't new. This been going on. You feel me? For generations and generations. You feel me? And what I call this is sweeping up under the rug. You hear me? And if you know, you know. If you're old school, you know when you sweep shit up under the rug. Okay? But anyway, so he said something to me. He said, you got a body. He said, you got a grown lady body. And I'm like, I instantly knew. I said, here we go. Because when you get molested, like they prey on you, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go through this to understand what I'm saying. You feel me? Like, I can look at a person, and I'm not psychic, and I can just look at them and tell that they are a child molester. You feel me? But anyway, so I said thank you, like kind of in a weird way. I'm like, thank you, because I didn't know what to say. And he was like, I need a secretary, to take notes at the church. And I think he said his grandson was something and he needed a drummer or something like that. I don't know if he talked to my uncle. I don't even know how it was okay, but it was okay. And he was like, I'll pay you $3 or some hour or something. Not knowing that was his way of reeling me in. But as a kid, I'm like, okay, I like playing music. I like the drums and everything. And I'm just like, okay, I wanted the money. It wasn't none, it wasn't much, but I'm like, I can save and buy my own clothes, own shoes. So I'm not, even though I felt like that, but I'm not thinking that at the time that was his way of reeling me in. You understand what I'm saying? He was setting up the bait right then. All right. So to fast forward it. So I go over there. Actually, he picked me up, what I'm saying, from a bus stop and all of that. And he parked in the back. He had the old school Chrysler. Y'all remember them? Looked like long boats and shit. The old school Chrysler's 200. He had a purple one. So I think on John Street, I don't remember her name, but she was a foster parent. I think it was Miss Rogers, if I'm not mistaken, and she had foster kids. He will make me bend down or duck down because, she was, I believe, you remember 227 Miss Pearl? You remember, what I'm saying? I'm old school. She was like a Miss Pearl. He was like, bend down your seat. He would make me bend down the seat or just bend down. You know what I'm saying? And when the coast was clear, he would tell me to go in. Please share this video. That's all I'm asking y'all. It don't cost nothing. Just please share if you don't mind sharing. You can just put for your page. You don't got to put the city, state. That's all I'm asking is just please share. Please share. If you want to send gifts, you can. The lion is my goal by my birthday, but I accept all gifts. Okay? I'm just asking y'all one favor beside any of that. I just want y'all to share this video, please. All right? So when I went in, he was, I'm thinking, he said, we're going to go into my office. I'm going to give you the rundown. I'm going to tell you what I need you to do. He said, my grandson, I don't know if he was locked up. I don't know. You hear me? But musicians, like, I don't even remember at the time. I don't know if it was Dale, Kelly. I don't know. But they was already, playing the organ, keyboard, and I remember hearing a guitar. So we come in, we go in this office and everything like that. And the light, he turned on the light. He goes and says, because it was a bathroom in his office. Now, look, let me tell you something. Just listen, though. That's what I'm saying. If y'all listen, I can't be lying. How would I know what the pastor's office looked like? As a 12-year-old, even as me supposed to be over there as a secretary or playing the drums, what am I doing in the pastor's office? I mean, y'all walk with me. Just think about it. If I'm there for that, I should immediately be going to where the musician's at, in the pulpit. But anyway, so he go into the bathroom, he come out, and he just starts like reciting verses. And at that time, like my Pastor Johnson and I know my Uncle Mac, like, they just recite it, like they just recite it. You know what I'm saying? Like my Pastor Johnson, Harold Johnson here, he, what I'm saying, it's like, damn, like when I first start going back, he'll be preaching and he'll be like, Psalms 23, Matthew 5, and I'm talking about just recite it, just word for word for word for word for word, and I'm just like, wow, you could just tell when you're around a real pastor that's just genuinely real, no child molester, no cheater, just he's here to do God's work. And I'm not saying people don't make mistakes, but I just got that feeling and connection with Pastor Harold Johnson. And I just love the way he preached. But we're going to get back to that. But he just started reciting and stuff like that. And he go over there and turn the lights off. And I'm just like, I'm wondering, like, where are you turning the lights off? And it was pitch dark. And they can't hear because the music going. Yes, it was a pastor. I ain't looking at none of the comments, so I'm sorry. The music is on. So they can't hear. They don't even know I'm in the office. And he made it seem like this is what children do to their pastors for their pastors. Like, this is the right thing. This is how they serve them. You know what I'm saying? It was just sick, but I was a kid then. You know what I'm saying? Molested me. He even coerced me to have oral sex with him. I didn't know what I was doing. And it was just so disgusting to me, like disgusting. And I knew when nobody gonna believe me. And it was kind of like I'm trapped in the world. Can y'all please share this video as you come in? Please share it. Please touch that screen and send gifts if you can. So I had started my cycle at 8. You hear me? I originally started getting molested at 3. Like, my story is deep. You hear me? My story is deep. I started getting molested by 3. Quick recap. My mother, Gwen Grimmett, she died of cancer. So when my mom was working 2 jobs, and my cousins was watching me. So I was like, 3? So we was probably like 8 to 9 years apart. They was molesting me. But my mom walked in, and that's another story. But that's why I said if my mother was alive, and I had told her that somebody molested me or a man had molested me, I know in my heart, rest in peace, Mom, I knew that she would have did what a mother's supposed to do. You're supposed to protect your child. If a person, you know what I'm saying? Kids, it is some crazy kids out here that may lie. But kids don't be lying. And it's like I done seen so many stories, and I didn't, and even in my own family, I was molested by my cousins. You feel me? And people, and some people be knowing what's going on, and they sweep it up under the rug. People have been molested by their father, their aunts, their brothers. Like, this is a sick, sick world. You hear me? So I'm like, at this point, I feel sick because that was the first time that I had put that in my mouth, and he forced me to do it. And then, one thing he used to always tell me, he said, one day you're going to come for me. He said, one day I'm going to pay for this. He will always tell me that each time that I wouldn't even say we had sex, that he molested me, and I call it rape. Fuck a molesting. Even though you're underage, because you are forcing yourself, you are taking something from somebody without their consent. You feel me? And I remember, like, I felt so sick, and I wanted to reach out. I wanted to tell people. I wanted to tell my family. I even wanted to tell my Uncle Matt. But you know why I didn't tell him? And and this is the first time I'm revealing this. Because what he said to Philip, I understand that. And I'm grown now. You hear me? And I can speak how I feel, and I can speak the truth. And I still respected him. But as you've been a detective and a pastor, you may have threatened him. But why didn't you pursue that? Why didn't you take me to the police department? Or, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, to me, as I'm older, that's like, okay, continue doing it. When you don't press charges, like to me, you giving them permission to keep doing it. And back then, he should have had charges on him. Like, charges should have been filed. He should have been arrested, and he should have went to jail. You hear me? And that's something, a pill that I can never swallow. And then as I grew older, and my family always said, well, you the one that don't want to be around us. You're the one. But look what I went through. Look what I went through. And as a child, you didn't protect me. You didn't love me. I'm talking about, man. Okay, anyway, that's another day. That's another story. I said, I'm writing a book. So when it's out, hey, believe me, y'all gonna know. So anyway, Moselle, he made me go to the bathroom and get a towel. He even made me wipe it up. He even, like, the CUM. You hear me? So when I turned the light on, he had a distinguished mark on his leg, like about that big. And you know how like a little candy cane, like the little mini candy canes, like I was like, and I remember like looking at it, like I would never forget it, you know? And I forgot what he said it was, because at the time, I'm not even in my mind. I was like, I just can't believe it. I just keep getting violated and violated. And like I said, I didn't have nobody to tell that would believe me. So it was like he knew, like I was getting Terry and Moselle at the same time. At the same time. You hear me? And this may sound sick to y'all or crazy. Like I said, I started my cycle when I was 8. And I believe it had just something to do with me getting molested at a young age. But sometimes, when all this was happening to me, because sometimes, and I'm going to tell you, Moselle didn't use condoms all the time. He will pull out just in case, just in time. But I'm believing, I didn't know the term now. I mean, then, but he had to have a vasectomy, because I know that a few times he did. Like, I didn't know what it was called, CUCAME inside of me. You hear me? And I'm just like, I hope I get pregnant. I hope I get pregnant. And even though I didn't want to, it's kind of like I wanted the truth to come out, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And then I thought about it as I got older. And I may be wrong for saying this, but this is my honest thought with the woman I was living with. And I said, even if that happened, she probably would have been like, you probably pursued him. You probably did that to him. Ain't no pastor gonna come. You feel me? And that's my thoughts. So I'm glad it didn't happen. You hear me? But I will always wonder, like, why ain't I getting pregnant? But I didn't know about a vasectomy and all of that back then. You hear me? So when he would get done, he would always look out the back door to make sure, I think her name was Rogers, make sure the coast was clear. And he would have me walk around the building and come through the front door. Like, you ain't just took, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just ain't did what you did. Then he will come out the office like, hey, when did you get here? I've been waiting on you. You hear me? This went on forever, forever, forever. You hear me? And at the time, he was a member of our church. And it was just sickening. It was just sickening. And I got to the point to where I didn't know what else to do. And one day, I just started running away. I started drinking. And I really wasn't a drinker back then, but I was a smoker. I was smoking. I was doing whatever. I guess that was called self-medicating. You hear me? Okay. So boom, that's a little recap of everything. Now I'm going to get into, okay, I had made some videos last night, right? And before I get started, I've changed so much, but if a person really, 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 and I'm going to tell you, the only person that really used to know me, and we're not like we used to be, is my cousin Matt. You feel me? But that was my ex. And he knew me, but I say this to say that I made those videos. You hear me? When I said I'll be there tomorrow, I'm coming to Tree of Life tomorrow. One thing about me, you will never know when I'm coming. I might say I'm coming, but you know what I'm saying? About things like if I say I'm coming and a person know me, like depending on the subject or the place or where I'm coming, like, hey, this is the point I'm trying to make. I said that I was coming. It's not that I'm scared or I'm lying. The thing about it is, hold on, let me get something to drink, y'all. Please, please share. I got 36 people in here. And this is the part I'm going to end, sum it up and end. But I'm asking y'all, there's 34 people in here. You hear me? One thing I'm going to say, you never know. This right here, I need united. I need my TikTok family. United. Hear me? We share this video, and I'm going to tell you why the point I'm trying to make. It's not about views. It's not about numbers. It's about saving lives, bringing people out, telling their truth. So many people have been telling their truth. You hear me? But I'm going to be on like 15 more minutes. But I'm asking y'all, please share. We got 33 people. You hear me? And thing about it is, somebody might be going through the same thing that I'm going through. Somebody might have went through what I went through. And you know what I'm saying? And they might be contemplating right now. They might be down and out right now. And you could share this video and they could come upon it and we could save a life. You could share this video and make somebody else, give them hope and motivation to tell their truth. You hear me? So I'm saying, you never know. You never know. And the other reason why I want y'all to share this video, you can put for your page. You can put Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't just share it. I would ask y'all to put Fort Wayne, Indiana. You hear me? But look, the other reason why I want y'all to share this is because, and this is where I'm trying to get something to drink, is because what's done in the dark always gonna come to the light. And y'all might not believe me. You don't have to. All right. But this is the truth. This is what I went through. You hear me? This is why I am the way that I am. You hear me? Okay. Y'all don't have to believe me. I wouldn't put no accusations and I wouldn't lie on nobody like this. I wouldn't lie. I would never do that. I was scared then. I called it sweeping up under the rug because then nobody believed me. It fucked me up. You hear me? It fucked me up. Today, I still deal with this memories, the way that I am. My childhood was taken away from me. I was coerced by damn near 3 men that's supposed to be in a position, especially the pastor. That one really kind of got me because he was close to my uncle. You hear me? I just think about this shit now. And I wonder, like, how could you even do that? And you knew I was his niece. When I say I dressed nice, and it's a picture on my TikTok, like how I look back then, the little curly hair and stuff like that. And like I said, I was younger then. That was almost 28 years ago. And I was in silence all these years, dealing with this by myself. I didn't, it just hurts because I never really had that family bond. I never really had that family and that support like I wanted. I don't know what it feels like. I'm so used to being alone and doing stuff alone. That's why I wanted a daughter. You hear me? But we gonna get something to drink. But can y'all please share, y'all? I can't tell y'all what to do. But can y'all please share? And if you can send gifts, I don't care if it's a cent. You feel what I'm saying? I just need support. I need to feel love. Give me about 15 more minutes, maybe 20, and I'm going to get up off of there. And if y'all got any questions, I can answer them. But just give me a minute, okay? So, basically, the videos that I did yesterday, I did a part 1 and I did a part 2. When I explained this and I said, you need to take accountability. I'm coming to Tree of Life. You know what I mean? Like all of that. Okay. So the title of my video is I'm in poker face mode. All right. And what I mean by that, if you don't understand, if you play poker or have ever played poker, and I'm not a poker player, but I know of the game. So I bluffed last night. You hear me? I talk different, but you can understand what I'm saying in my slang. When you play poker, you might bluff. You know what I'm saying? You might have the baddest hand. And your bluff and your poker face might have somebody throwing their hand. So what I mean by I bluff, this is what I want to do. I'm trying to turn up the heat in the kitchen. And what I mean by that is, this is why I want this to go viral. Okay. One, can y'all please share? We got 40 people in here. You hear me? It ain't about this. I really need to get this out. And I really want y'all to hear this. And I want it to get to the point to where, this is what I'm saying. The state of Indiana, statute of limitations for child molesting is 31. 31. And some people might be like, well, when you turn 18, why didn't you file charges? Woo, woo, woo. Okay, a lot of people that get molested and stuff, you know, how can I say it? Some people just let it go because it didn't happen for so long ago. The family didn't support them. And most times they just deal with it and move on and just, hey, it's a part of my life. They might reveal it to their kids. But I'm going to tell you why. And I also said this, and I'm going to correct this. I told the story about Miss Minnie Scott. She was a lifetime member. Just like, you ever met a woman or a person to where you be like, this is an angel. This is a God, heaven sent angel. You hear me? I'm talking about, respect. You hear me? Whenever you came in her presence, just kind of like, you just felt like, you just, you hear me? And you knew, you know what I'm saying? You knew not to respect her. And she was God's chosen ones. You hear me? But back then I was a kid. But even then, I was like, yeah. She was like, it ain't no more Medias no more and Big Mamas. It might not be, but look. Okay, I said on a story, one of my stories that I shared yesterday, correction, it was her brother that got killed. I mean, her brother that got killed and not the son, okay? And I remember it was Bible study, or I don't know if she was teaching, or I don't know. But it had to be like 7 to 9, maybe 10. And I remember this story. She was telling it. And like I said, correction, I had said it in one of my stories that it was her brother. And her great niece ended up correcting me on my Facebook page. And she didn't press charges. When I say Miss Minnie Scott was the type of woman, the Bible was the law to her. If that makes sense. Like, she went by the Bible, she ate the Bible, she read the Bible, she lived the Bible. And she truly believed revenge is mine, saith the Lord. Good morning, good morning. I ain't even looking at the comments because I don't want to see nothing negative. So don't think I'm ignoring you. Can y'all please share? I know my views going down, but I don't care. Hear me, I don't care. Please share, please share. And if you can send gifts, please send gifts. So she didn't file charges, and she truly believed in that verse, that Bible verse, revenge is mine, said the Lord. So she didn't file charges on a man that killed her brother, and he ended up dying the same way. You know what I'm saying? She didn't file charges. She said, look, hey, I'm gonna let God handle. Revenge is his. And I think she, when she was saying how, her family members and stuff was like, why not? Like, but when you got that relationship with God and you follow God and you believe in God, he gonna do it. So that always stuck with me, right? So that is why I didn't file any charges on him. I'm thinking like, okay, God gonna get him. But it's like, okay, I'm almost 40. And I saw like 3 months ago, happy 88th birthday, Moselle Davis. And it's like, this been eating me up. And it's just like, I had told my story years ago. I tried to get on the news. I tried to get in the newspaper. I even reached out to TV shows like Steve Wilkos like 3 times and a few more. But he didn't. I knew his address at the time and his church address, Old Pontiac Street, where it's the daycare. I don't know if it's a daycare currently, but that's the church I'm talking about. 808 East Pontiac, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So he didn't accept it. They can't coerce you to go on the show. See, it's a lot of things that people don't know that I tried to do in different ways to get the truth out. You hear me? So, Frost, I tried to get there, and everybody told me I had to file charges because he could file a lawsuit or sue them or whatever the case. But I was still young, but I still wasn't understanding it. But I understand it now. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I believed in. But I'm like, I said, no, it's time for me to put my boots back down on the ground. Can you guys please share this? That's all I'm asking. As you come in, even if you don't stay, can you please share? Tap the screen. And if you can send gifts, send gifts. Show love. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, when I was in jail, I did some time in jail. I did 13 months in jail. I did 8.5 on house arrest. I got off house arrest in November. All right. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. That's all I'm asking y'all share. I don't care if we get down to 2 people. But I'm going to speak this and wherever. But this is the point why I didn't come, is what I'm getting to Tree of Life. All right. So I'm like, all right. I wrote him a letter in jail, a 4 or 5 page letter. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into that. No, I didn't. So I wrote him a letter. I expressed myself, whatever, as what he did to me, how he made me feel, and all of that shit. And I told him, I said, I'm coming for you. I said, when I get out, I'm talking about Moselle Davis, when I was in jail, I wrote him a letter to the church. I said, when I get out, I'm filing charges. I'm pressing charges. Like, I believe in God, and it's like so many years that went by, and then I didn't even know that we was that many years apart. So when he started doing this to me when I was 12, I did the math when I seen his birthday. He was 62. 62. Come on, man. It's just sickening. It's sickening. And you still in the pulpit. You still preaching. Hear me? And Dale Lyman. So I'm going to say something. And it's like, I got to speak. I don't give a fuck. Hear me? This man was gay. And all the people knew that. But he didn't want everybody to know. You know what I'm saying? You know how people, he didn't want everybody to know. Him and my baby daddy, and that's another story. They was real close. They played poker together. So one day when me and my baby daddy was on good terms, and I pulled up, and Dale was outside. He was drinking, doing what we do, worldly shit. And he was like, "Why you don't like me?" I said, "You don't remember what you told me a few years ago when I told you that Pastor Moselle Davis molested me?" He was like, "No, what'd I say?" I said, "You told me that I'm grown now and let it go." I said, "But you bisexual and everybody know, but you don't want nobody to know. You in the church, I don't judge nobody because I like women. Hear me? I don't judge nobody. But my thing is, if you going to do it and be it, be it. Hear me? Be it. He been bisexual all these years. But you didn't want me to tell my truth, and you won't even admit, and you know what I'm saying? But back to the story. So, yeah, he passed away about a month ago. And, like my church cousin was like, "You going to Dale, this, and that." And I said, no, and this is the first time I revealed that to anybody. I'm not talking about nobody's sexuality because it's like that, but it's a different thing if you still trying to hide it and you're in the church, you're a musician, and you don't want nobody to expose you. You don't want to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? But everybody knows, so just admit it. I mean, he would deny it. He denied it. And he had a boyfriend. But anyway, so basically, that's why, I'll say, you know what, it's time for me to do something. So when I got out and I had reached out to Detective Johnson, and I said, "Hey, this happened to me, woo, woo, woo. what artist, has a statute of limitations, because some states don't have no statute of limitations. And if you over 31, which I was, and he was like, yeah, okay. This is the second reason why I didn't go. Okay. I just changed my TikTok name. I Stand Alone. I don't know if it's still up there. I think it's I Stand Alone. And I mean that. You know what? Bad news travel fast. And I'm going to tell you something. And I'm speaking the truth. Don't nobody got my back in Fort Wayne. When I say I'm by myself, I'm by myself. You hear me? So my thing is, I know that I put the videos up there. I don't know who showed up. I don't know how deep the church was. I don't know if people just came to see, you know what I'm saying? To see. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Moselle came. And, I don't know nobody that go there. I may, but I wish I would have had eyes. But what I said, when I did all of that, that was my thing of warning him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said I was going to. See, it's like I'm a different type of person, and I move because I'm by myself, but I'm going to come in like a thief and a robber. You hear me? You ain't going to know. I can say right now, I'll be there next Sunday. I'm coming, but you ain't going to know, because I ain't going to tell him myself. You see what I'm saying? I don't want him to know when I'm coming, but when I'm coming right. Second reason, like, let me get back to it why I didn't come. When I walk in that church, let me tell you something. And this deep, you know what I'm saying? I'm a deep thinker, and I've seen so many true stories about not only pastors that will do anything, even kill, to save their reputation. I seen a true story about a pastor. He killed his wife, and he killed his boyfriend. He was on the low. He was dating a man in the church, killed both of them because he didn't want him to get out. I seen another on Snap. It happened years ago. He was a pastor in Tennessee. His wife has started having relations with his son, and the son and his wife plotted to kill him, killed him. When you have been doing, and your reputation, and you have been on this earth for so long, and you evidently, let me say, he 88. This was damn near 30 years ago. So you got to be thinking like, one day the wall is going to cave in. You haven't took accountability. Like, I would have thought by now, like, I believe in God, but it's like, I don't know what's going on in this life. But it's like, you not about to croak on me. You 88. That's why I said it's time for me to do something. And Terry, I'm going to give it to you one at a time. Terry Griffin. I'm going to get to you too, baby. Don't worry about it. But I said, you ain't about to croak on and die on me without you. I'm telling you, like, this is my goal. I can't file charges on you, but I'm going to make you stand down. I'm going to make you take accountability. And I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. That one of your victims. You hear me? But this is my point. Tomorrow, the other reason why I didn't come is because I had reached out today. You know what I'm saying? I got to do this thing, y'all. I reached out today. This is what I also want to do. My bad. When you're on so long, you got to do that thing. I'm going to take a polygraph test. You hear me? See, the thing about it is, I don't have to prove nothing to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to prove nothing to y'all. But it's like more than half of my life, my childhood, from 2 to 3 to 15, I was molested. You hear me? And either you're going to break the cycle or you're going to continue it. So I don't know if he was molested or some people just start doing it. You know what I'm saying? But this is another reason why I didn't come. Because when I walk in there, I'm coming as a woman. I'm not coming like this. So I was always taught, when you do something right. And I'm not ashamed. I dressed like a woman last year when I went to my daughter's trial, when I was on trial. But I cut my hair like 3 months ago because it got so damaged, But my hair was long, back to how it used to be. I went in there as a woman, and they jaws dropped because they thought they was seeing the thug, like I was coming like I normally come. And I'm talking about everybody jaws dropped to where you go to get back up. I'm coming in there, right? The lie detector test is a lie. It's at least about 400 to 500. But the office here was closed. So I'm gonna call them today to see how much it costs. You hear me? I've been trying for years to get it done for free on a Steve Wilkos show, but he never accepted it. You hear me? So my thing is, when I come in there right, I'm coming with the lie detector test if he ain't dead by then. Because life been lifing. You hear me? I had surgery 3 months ago. I've been off for damn near 3 months. So, hey. So I'm going to see how much it costs. I'm going to take that lie detector test. I'm also going to call the prosecutor's office in the morning. Because, see, in some cases, when the statute of limitations expire, you may or may not be able to go to civil court. So this case is, and if I really, but yeah. So I want to do it right. You hear what I'm saying? So it's like, and then this is back to the second reason why I didn't come. If you're not with me, you're against me. And I'm walking in there by myself. Like I said, he may try to kill me. He may try to kill himself. Because some people will go to their grave not admitting it. And he's a fucking coward. And you know what I'm saying? He's a coward. And I see him, even if I press charges, he wouldn't have made it in jail. And then this is another thing how God works in mysterious ways. When Miss Minnie died, the night before I had went to the party and I think somebody had put something in my drink. And that's why I missed hers. Okay? Miss Anita Macon died. You hear me? And I wanted to go to that, but some just said, peace be still. So David, he went live on both of them. Why each of them, Moselle Davis, walked in the pulpit, spoke at it. And I'm not lying. I wouldn't have disrespected, I don't want to disrespect nobody homegoing. But the last time I seen him up close and personal, it's the last time that he molested me. Hear me? So it's like 15. What's the last time? That'd be 24. Damn, I'm getting old. I'll be 39 next month. 24 years. So I know it wasn't meant for me to be there. I hate that I missed it, but I know I would have done it there on site, like real talk. So it wasn't meant for me to be there. So I'm thinking he I don't know if they asked him to speak or he's still official member of Community Baptist Church. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I don't know who was there, and I wish I did. I don't know if people, because I did it a day before, but bad news travel fast. You hear me? So I am doing it, but no one is going to know. I can say, here, I'm coming next Wednesday, I'm coming next Sunday, I'm coming next Sunday. You know what I'm saying? But I am coming. But when I come, I'm going to have people that I know I may not deal with every day. You know what I'm saying? But I know I'm not walking in there alone in my protection. I might walk up in that church, and never walk back out. He might have the gun on him every Sunday. He might, I'm just like, for real, this is true stuff that happens to people that don't want to get exposed. And they would rather die or kill themselves to admit into the truth and take accountability. I don't see him admitting it. I don't. Look at all these years, you know what I'm saying? He damn near 90. He like, I done got away with it. But I'm going to tell you something. When he said that I'm coming, like he said, you're going to come for me one day. This is why I want this to go viral. This is why, look, I done tagged him. I done tagged Tree of Life. He know. But this is my point. When he said a fire shut up in my bones, can't sleep, tossing and turning, this and that, you going to tell on yourself. This is my point. Even if it may be before I come into church. But my point is, he don't got a conscience. He don't have a heart. For you to be a pastor and you taking the virginity of little girls, I don't even know if he's still doing it. I don't know if his little still working. I don't know. But I know I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one. Child molesters just don't have one victim. You hear me? So that's a lot of reasons why I didn't go. And I know when I walk, if I would have walked in there today, I would have been by myself. I would have spoke my truth. You know what I'm saying? And people play dirty. People do dirty things. He could have called the police on me, made all types of shit up. You know what I'm saying? But see, I have been saying this for a long time. And people still going to his church. He could have did it to some of the church members' kids. And they grown now, just like me. And people have heard kids. And they grown now, just like me. And people have heard this story. And some people know what's up. And a person can do wrong and walk with me. You know what I'm saying? If you catching what I'm throwing. People like know what a person doing, but they still gonna support them. Like I said, and I'm not talking bad about his wife, but there's no, I know people live double lives. But I'm saying though, you know what I'm saying? Like do y'all think she know? It's just like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. It's just weird to me. And as you know what I'm saying? And as far as Terry, I don't know what church he's at, but I'm coming for you too. He even seen my TikTok. He did. I tagged him like a month ago on Facebook. He untagged himself. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you grown and we both grown now, and you know that you didn't do this, wouldn't you comment on it? Wouldn't you say something to defend yourself? His wife used to look at me like an evil, you know what I'm saying? Because it got out. Because I had, you know what I'm saying? I had wrote and I started telling, you know what I'm saying, as I got of age. Even then I had told a few people, but they weren't adults. But words were spreading around the church. Oh, here she go again, talking about somebody that molested her. Like I said, bad news travel fast. You hear me? I didn't tell no adults or nothing like that. I don't honestly believe who I told at that time, but I don't know if it was my cousin or it was my peers. I know it was my family. But you hear me? And that rumor started spreading around the church real quick. Yes, you know what I'm saying? She talking about this musician then molested her. You what with me? She said Philip molested her. They blame me for getting Philip out the church. They blame me. Oh, she done lied on Philip, said he molested her. He gone. But when I say damn near everybody following him, it was like nobody in our church for a minute. I swear to God. I swear to God. So just okay. And then they like, oh, now she talking about this musician then molesting her. And I heard them because it's like, black people messy. I would walk past and I would hear, he ain't do nothing to you. He ain't molest you. Don't you start, don't you run away this musician. He couldn't play and sing no way. You hear me? So just, and then at this point, I left the church. You know what I'm saying? I left the church. I asked who I was living with to relinquish their rights. And I was ghost. I was just like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, So that's a quick recap of everything. And it's like, my thing is this. I don't know what's going through Moselle because this is why I want everybody to share. Because my goal is, I don't know if it'll work. But, hey, Pastor, you seen that video? Hey. Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you really do it? What you think you gonna say? You hear me? Like, come on, y'all can interact with me now because now I'm down to my 2 minute. And I'm about to go down. Like, you can already react. Do you think I'm telling the truth? You can be honest. Do you think I'm telling the truth? Do you believe what I'm saying? But like when I looked online, the light detector is like $459. But when I do finally walk up in there, I'm gonna walk up in there as a woman. I'm gonna have the lie detector test results. Because some of them protect their pastor. And he ain't do that. My pastor wouldn't do that. Okay then. Got that receipt out. You hear me? And I said it ain't about proving no point to nobody. This is the thing. Because the lie detector, the polygraph dude, he can, and I'm gonna tell him, did Moselle Davis molest you? Did Philip, you know what I'm saying? I even asked Philip, but you know what I'm saying? He my revenge, and he already got his karma. I don't even know if he alive. But I know Charles died earlier this year, and I said that man can sing. That man can sing. But Charles died earlier this year. But I'm going to have him ask about everybody. You know what I'm saying? Did Moselle Davis molest you? Did Terry Griffin molest you? Was it mutual? You know what I'm saying? All of them questions. So what made me double back a little bit, because I got up this morning and I'm like, I ain't ready. I ain't ready. And I actually was, but I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do it. But I wasn't gonna come no way, because if he got back to him, he was expecting me to come. So now his mind fucked up, like, she ain't show up. And then the people who did come, she lying, he ain't do it. I knew, you know what I'm saying? Everybody mind like, where's she at? Did she come? Some people, like I said, I wish I knew somebody at Tree of Life, because the church could have been packed today. Like, yeah, girl, I'm going to Tree of Life. I'm about to get this tea. But wasn't nobody there, even if I did go, wasn't nobody there to protect me. You hear me? I'm not scared, but you know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't nobody there, even when I told my truth, to stand by me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I can go by myself. When I say this, what I mean by I don't have no family, and I do mean that. And I'm going to be honest with you. The person that I used to live with, about 2 months ago, you hear me? Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you what made me, I was already the black sheep. I've already, I wouldn't say lost respect, but that's why, I'm going to tell you why I don't come around. The molesting thing, okay, is one. All right. And you want to know the other thing? When my daughter got taken away, you hear me? My daughter got taken away. I'm going to recap on that real quick. We was homeless. I did shit. The case was about to close within 1 week. Boom, I went to jail. Now, I done fucked up. You hear me? So, I did 13 months in the county. Like 8-9 months in there, they sent me termination, involuntary. Before I went to them, the people that I live with, I went to people that I knew that I wouldn't say trust, but trust. Like, they had kids around my daughter's age. They had interacted. I asked, and in jail, you don't got your contacts, but I remember their phone numbers. So they was already trying to adopt my daughter in there. So I'm like, damn. I finally called. And I said, hey, and this is what I asked them to do. And they probably didn't believe me, but I did it when I got out. I said, look, chain of custody, you don't lose your rights. Basically, you sign over, you know what I'm saying, temporary custody. Then when you get out, you do what you need to do. You go back to court and you want to lose your rights. So boom, I'm saying, hey, look, I can't find nobody to take Medici. Let me tell you, if you know me, I never felt love. I always felt alone. That's the only family that I have. And I'm a firm believer that if I had any other kids, I would want the same baby daddy, not my baby daddy. And we got history. It ain't just like a random dude I slept with. This is my first boyfriend ever, Uniontown, Alabama. He lost his mom. I was there to support him. One thing led to another. He pulled off the condom. Then I call him. I'm pregnant. What's the number one line? It ain't mine. I'm into females. You're the only male that I slept with. Bam, back to the story. So I'm like, can you please just take her? The chain of custody. I said, I'm trying my best to get up out of here. When I get out, just give me I said 3 months. I get her back to the chain of custody. She was with it. So my caseworker came and see me like once a month. So Jeff came down and he gave her information. So when he came out to see me, he said, well, they didn't change their mind. I'm like, what? Because, I went back to the block happy. Like, okay, y'all know your granddaughter. You never spent no time with her. You didn't treated everybody. I don't care who shared, who tell it. I'm speaking the fucking truth. You hear me? You have never spent a day with my daughter. You hear me? And if I'm supposed to be your daughter, the family, how could you let my baby? It ain't your fault. But there's no fucking way I'm going to let if I could take him, your daughter, I'm supposed to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let her go into the system. I mean, look, you hear me? I don't care. I'm telling him this is my story. I just and then when he told me they changed their mind, I said, "What you mean they changed their mind?" He was like, "Only thing she said was you was difficult, but you weren't dealing with me. You was dealing with that would have gave them time to bond. Y'all, I know y'all up there in age, but my daughter wasn't a bad kid. She was going through shit. You hear me? When you used to be with your mom every day, like we got. That hurt me. That broke me. I went back to the block, got into a fight, went to deadlock, 4.5 months. Fuck me up. Be locked down 23 hours a day, 1 hour out, no phone, no yeah. Okay, boom. So now I'm angry, and I'm like, you know what? Y'all, you can't love me. And you know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna speak the truth. As much money, a check my mom wrote you. You had my mama check, my daddy check, and this is the truth. At that time, her and her husband would get into it. She would always say, if it wasn't for Tasha's money, we wouldn't be making it. They had some good jobs, but in 1993, when I came up here, they wasn't up there. You know what I mean? They had some good jobs, but they weren't making the type of money that. Hear me? Mercedes Benz. I don't care. And it's the truth. I ain't lying. Within months of me being there, Mercedes Benz, new China set. I'm saying, just wait for the book. So boom, you know what she did, and after that, I didn't even call, I didn't even ask. I was in deadlock anyway, so I couldn't use the phone. But you know what she did? She called my auntie Alfreda down at Uniontown to ask for my baby daddy number. She know he's never done anything for my daughter Manicia and none of that. And that's kind of like, why would you reach out to get his number? And he has never been in her life, has never done anything. And and it's just like, I was done. Another thing, my Uncle Abraham died. And people be thinking, oh, Tasha ain't around. They don't tell me. You want to know how I found out? And he was my Uncle Abraham and my Uncle Matt. They're my two favorite uncles. And that hurt my soul. You hear me? And people be thinking, oh, I'm just not around. They don't tell me. I got out of jail. I talked to them while I was in jail. My Uncle Jason died. Like, it's like, you feel, that was just it. But now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have to go through all this shit with my daughter. And I know my mom, if my mom was living, she would have let that happen. But you took everybody, kids, but you wouldn't take mine. But my mom paid you. I don't even know how much that check was. But when that Mercedes came in, you hear me? I'm speaking the truth. I don't care. I don't care. I'm speaking the truth. I was money. And that's why, you know what? And then after all that shit happened at the church and me being molested, relinquish your rights. And let me tell you, when we went to court for that, guess who paid for the court bill? As a child, my certificates and CDs, it was a penalty, right? But my lawyer was like, no. So as she was getting my dad checks, she didn't touch them. Like, since I went into the system, she really couldn't do it. So they was, you know what I'm saying? That's what paid for the lawyer fees. And it's just like, how could you, I'm just saying, like, how could you have your attorney or, you want me to pay for this? Because I want to leave your home. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel, you know what I'm saying? To me, it was all about the check. You didn't protect me. And over the years, I still respected her and I still try to have a relationship. You know what I'm saying? But it was never a mother. None of that. I wrote poems when I was younger. I got invited all over the world. It was all about her daughter. Track. I was on basketball. Didn't come to none of my games. So it's like a lot of people really don't know. But then they be like, well, you just left the family. It's not because of that. You know what I'm saying? You got my number. You know what I'm saying? All of the family members that died, she had my number. So it's like, hey, such and such died. Would you like to go to Uniontown with us? Can you go? You know what I'm saying? But then she called me. I know because if I'm not mistaken, and I might be wrong, the Saturday of Miss Anita's funeral, I believe that may have been the same Saturday of Uncle Abraham. So she called me like a week from last Monday, and this is what I told her, and I promise you, and I told her with all due respect, she texted me. Now, when I had surgery, and I told her, I said, man, I'm gonna be off for 2 or 3 months financially. You know, they didn't deny me for temporary disability. They denied me for all of this. Like financially, like I said, and I'm being honest, I said I could lose everything. I'm trying to fight for my daughter. I got a car payment. You know what I'm saying? And she gonna tell me, this is what she told me. She said, maybe you should just file for, what is like full-term disability. I said, how am I gonna pay my bills? I gotta go back to work. I even tried to go back to work early, but I end up rupturing myself and had to have another surgery. You know? But when, and I'm gonna wind down. I know I keep, what I'm saying, but it's just like, I'm gonna wind down and close it. But that hurt me. That hurt me. And when I told her everything that I was going through, the only thing she said, take care, take care, take care. And she said, I love you. Last Monday, I promise you. And I said, really? Because she called the last 2 times she called, I don't answer. Because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at a point in my life, family or not, the fake love, the fake shit, I don't want it. Because even as I went through what I went through, you abused me as well. And it's a different type of abuse, if you see what I'm saying. So I told her, I said, you don't love me. You don't care for me. I said, you wouldn't even take my daughter. I said, my biggest thing about foster care and being in the system, she could get molested. I can't be there. The hurt, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is my family. I pushed her out of my stuff. My JJ. You hear me? And I'm telling you, that's all the family that I got. That's why I wanted to have a daughter. Not by him, not on purpose. That wasn't the plan. But they would say that when we went together as young kids, yeah, y'all gonna have a baby one day. Shit. And it happened. That's all the family I got. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be here. When I say I'm so deep in depression, when life is lifing, when I say I got that poker face on, I don't look like what I'm going through. They have never been there for me. They have never been there for me. And I told her, I said, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to read the text message, word for word. And it's like, I told her this like 3 months ago, what I was going through, what I might be losing, what I may face. It ain't even about financial wise or whatever, it's like that. But I know I was told by my aunties when I came up here that she got like, my mama wrote her a check for like 15 to 30,000. And let me tell you, my dad got killed. Somebody killed him. Never met him in Birmingham. My mom sued the city of Birmingham, and she got banked. But when I was little, she turned in certificates of deposit. So by the time I got 18, I had like 250,000. And she wrote, man, I'm telling you, this is the truth. This is the truth. Okay, and I'm gonna read this, and then, like I said, if y'all got any questions, you know what I'm saying? Shantae. Neighbor, what neighbor? Because, I call all my neighbors neighbors. But I'm going to read this, right? And I'm talking about my story deep. I don't even know if you know what I'm saying? I swear to God. And it's like when I had my surgery, I told her I need to have surgery. Man, it's just deep. So it's not just like I chose, like as I got older. Well, Tasha, she chose to. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. It's how I was treated, how I wasn't loved, how I wasn't supported. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what, my mother that died, I wish she was still living. I wish she was still living. I don't know what a mother and daddy relationship, I don't know what that feels like. Never had it. Okay. This was Monday she called me a week ago. She called me, I didn't answer. I stopped answering. Because it's like at this point, like when I cut you off, I don't care who you are. When I'm tired of the fake love and I wrote her a letter in jail and I said some fucked up shit. You hear me? I end up apologizing, this and that. But okay. So I text her back later. Give me about 5-10 minutes, y'all. If you got any questions, put them in there. And I said, I'm okay. This was last Monday. Glad to hear that. Take care of yourself. God bless you. You talking to me like I'm a church member. You talking to me like I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm not your daughter, but this is not how you talk to your daughter. I didn't told you what I'm going through. Okay, look, that's crazy. Really? This is what I said. And I know that when it's over with for me, I don't care who you is, I'll cut you off. If like I done went through this all my life. I done been abandoned, fake love, like all types of shit. Taken advantage of, etc., etc. So I wrote her back this. I said, really? You do not care or love me. I'm not being disrespectful, but that's how I feel. I lost everything, and I do mean, and this is the truth, and I shouldn't even be saying this. You know what I'm saying? But, and I do mean everything. By me being off and all of that, and like life is lifing. I ain't even support. Like, do you need anything? Are you hungry? Do you got groceries? Like, okay, I'll be all right though. You don't have to reach out anymore. I'm in this world anyways by myself. I fought for my daughter. I lost her forever and probably won't see her until I'm 18. And my own so-called family wouldn't even take her. So I have no reason to live anymore. And I don't care about life anymore. So you do not have to reach out anymore. And I mean that. I've been dead since my daughter been gone. And it's like, out of all, and it's not about money, but it's like, out of all the things that my mom did to set you up, things that was in her will for me to do, and like I said, this story is deep. Every summer, the money I was supposed to be getting, that's the least you could have did. But fuck the money. You supposed to be my mother, not my mother, but you know what I'm saying? My mother, okay? She put me in your hands. Shantae, which neighbor, baby? Because I call everybody neighbor. She put me in your, I'm talking about, this is why I don't fuck with my family. And I'm not saying like the whole family, but the family. And it's like, it hurt me to my soul. You know, want to know how I found out my Uncle Abraham died? And when I said I got two, I got three. I take that back. I got three. And this one really not my uncle, but I call him Uncle Daddy. My Uncle Dud. That's who taught me the game. That's who taught me the streets. My Uncle Dud. Okay? My Uncle Abraham, my Uncle Mac, and my Uncle Dud. You hear me? And last time I seen Uncle Abraham, my daughter was like 3, 4. We talking about, she turned 13 this year. It's about 9 years. They came up here for something. And it's like, you call this is what fucked me up. The times I talked to you, you knew Nick didn't do anything. Nick ain't did shit for none of his kids. Nick don't even have his own shit and always live with everybody else. When they took Manician from me, November 1st, 2001, from Abbott Elementary, he came in to get her. Within 48 hours, CPS had to come and get her. Y'all want to know why? Because him and his girlfriend always into it. Domestic violence. Now, he had to sign up as a child, like, what did you call that? Registered as a sex offender, but he didn't sex offend a child. It was with his ex-girlfriend. But anyway, so yeah, that hurt me. And I still didn't get the money for the attorney. I went to trial. I lost trial. And my attorney told me, he said, Tasha, because when this case first opened, I lost my mind. When my daughter left, they took my daughter. To me, if you don't go crazy or act out of the norm, something ain't right. That ain't normal. That was my everything. That's all I had. That's my family. You hear me? The only reason why, and I know I'm here, so look, I'm just speaking. Shit. I'm testifying. I'm venting. Because I don't got nobody else to vent to. The only reason why I didn't want to have no kids, because I don't want her to feel like me. You hear me? When my mom died, the mother that I knew, and ain't even my biological, I'm saying, we'll get to that another day. That's my mother. She died of cancer. I was in this world alone. I got brothers and sisters, but that's another story about my biological mother. Because that's why I wanted to have another child, but I'm not going to have it by him. I'm just saying, how I was raised right. I don't want two different baby daddies. I don't want. Not saying it may not happen, but I'm saying that's my only fear. If I leave this world, she's going to be here alone. Then she in a system. And then when our business was going on, she would tell me, you know, foster parents, they going to treat their kids like kids, and they going to treat foster parents like, you know what I'm saying, foster kids like, you know what I'm saying? I hated that. You know the stories that she was telling me? Then she just started her cycle. Last year, I'm in visitation, and I see I said, Mama, what is that? That's what we call my daughter. Mama. But I guarantee you, there's only one Manician in this world. One. And that's mine. You hear me? One. And if they name Manician, they was born after 2012. Ain't nobody ever, because she's one in a million. She's my angel that saved my life. That's why I went the fuck crazy. Hear me? I started self-medicating. I was already smoking weed, cocaine, drinking. The devil, I got on the devil side at that point. I said, can't be no Jesus, can't be no God. Can't be no God. You hear me? I started scamming people. Like, I was the devil. Like, when I went through shit, my getaway, my scapegoat always used to be gambling. You hear me? Always used to be gambling. I'm on here. Look me up. Look me up. I'm on here. See, the thing about it is, that's my past. Hear me? I ain't smoked weed in over 2.5 years. I've been cleaning everything over 2.5 years. And I never thought I'd be sober. But I can drink on my probation. You hear me? I used to do shit. I had demons in me. I didn't give a fuck what I was doing, who I was taking it from, because I was lost. I was dead. It was like I was experiencing the death of my child, but it was a visible death. And if you ain't been through that, you know what I'm saying, that road, hey, I'm telling you. So that first 6 to 9 months, I was off the chain. So when I went to trial last June, let me tell you, CPS got a lifetime restraining order on me. I had like 20, 30 case members, threatened them all. If anything happened to my daughter, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to find out where, I'm talking about this me. You know what I mean? I ain't lying. I'm going to CPS, Rudisill building, walking up in that motherfucker. Where my daughter at? Stop talking to me. Do you want, hey, I kill you. Stop talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going off. I was threatening them all. I was getting a caseworker like every 3 days. You hear me? So when I went to trial, these people still acting like they scared of me. Like, I ain't being racist, but them white people, they know how to act. You hear me? I have totally changed. My daughter foster mom came over here. She told me the same thing. Like, hey, they said you was this. And I'm like, yeah, I was. But people change. I changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still got some same ways. That lion will come out. But I'm more humble now. I don't fuck with nobody. I'm an introvert. And I don't want nobody around me that's fake loving me. That's don't love me. Because it's like the words I love you don't mean nothing to me. Show me. Show me. Now, you may not be my child, but if your mother left you to me, I don't care how old you are. You're going to be my child, and if I can support you, I'm going to do that. There's no way that I will let my so-called granddaughter go to the system. You hear me? And, 11 may be normal now, starting the cycle. I started mine at 8. But in my heart, a mother knows somebody been touching my daughter. Somebody did something to her. And I'm not there to protect her. And and it's just like, okay, boom, I'm off that. But and it's just like Nick didn't even come. The baby daddy didn't even come to trial, didn't even fight. But he's playing daddy to somebody else. Kids. And Luke and his so-called son, and I don't care what nobody say, boy, that ain't your son. I've been knowing you all my life. You can't even have no sons. You have nothing but daughters. That ain't your son. That ain't your son. Show me the birth certificate. Show me that 99.99%. Yeah. But that's how I found out my Uncle Abraham died, because I was people you may know. And I was going to, say something to him, but I'm like, you know what? I'm so humble now. But see, when he was in jail, when I got out, and the trial was like 2 weeks away, so I set up a video chat. And I just said, hey, are you going to be there? We made Manician. We need to stick together. Yeah, I'll be there. All that jail talk. Yeah. Didn't even come. Didn't even come. I know I'm winding down, but y'all still can share this video. Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I feel like once you did that, you wouldn't take my daughter. You know what I'm saying? You've been watching your granddaughter. You ain't never even spent the hour with her. When she was born, I asked her to come to where I used to live with, come to the hospital. The same thing she said in her text messages is what she said then. She came to the hospital. Y'all want to know how long she stayed? My baby was premature. Her dad, Manician dad, and Nick, they birthday 1 day apart. Nick birthday June 5th. My daughter and Uncle Mac share the same birthday, June 6th. The person I used to live with, when I had Manician, mind you, I went through that alone. And God works in a mysterious way. I got faith. But I'm saying, if it wasn't for Miss Mary, and they tore down the original St. Joe Hospital, and I had a warrant at that time, I was scared. But that nurse, that was a guy. Like I talked about Miss Minnie, yeah, she got me through that. I called her. She didn't come. But she came to the hospital. She wasn't even there 5 minutes. Came in. Hey, looked at the baby. Didn't even pick her up. The same words that she's been saying for years. Take care. I dealt with a lot of depression. I dealt with a lot of stuff. And I hate that my mom died. And and that's why I didn't want to have no kids, because I don't want her to go through this. I don't want her to be alone. I didn't come up with all the money for the attorney. When you go to Indiana Supreme Court, the public defenders don't do that. So trial, like I said, all of these caseworkers I had, they were still scared, still thinking I'm the same person. They wouldn't even come inside the courtroom. They was in the other room. You know what I'm saying? So basically, everything I did the first 6 to 8 months of this case, when Manician got taken, that's what the judge based her decision on. Not my present. I got out of jail, got a job, got my place within 40 days. Hear me? I still stuck to my promise what I was going to do. So my thing is, if you would have took her chain of custody, she'll be with me right now. You don't love me. You can't love me. And I don't care what nobody say. I would have never. So that's my feeling. I don't care what y'all think. I ain't being disrespectful. That hurt me. That killed me. But if I could go back, Shantae, what neighbor are you? Did you say that? But if I can go back, I would have cooperated. But it's like, hey, with not having a support system and not having a village, I've been by myself since my mother died. I didn't know how to act. It ain't no book to how do you act when CPS take your child. It ain't. I lost my mind. I went crazy. Like I said, I said it ain't no God. I was on the devil's side. I was a demon. I was in a dark place. But if I would have had support, if I would have had, you know what I'm saying? Which I never had. That's why I'm so strong. That's why I'm a survivor. You know what people tell me, how do you do it? How you doing it? How you still, hey, I finally made a video. I'm dying of depression and a broken heart. I might not ever see my baby till she 18. I don't blame my family, but it's like there's no way. We from Uniontown. We a family that stick together. I don't care if we ain't talking on talking terms. We gonna take that baby. And even if you didn't want to, you could have reached out. Hey, Tasha, you know what I'm saying? She in jail. They, whoa, you might, why? You know what I'm saying? I can't do that in jail. Didn't even do that. So that will forever hurt me. I forgive, but it's like that was the nail in the coffin for me. And that text message, I truly mean that. I truly do from the bottom of my heart. And I'm not cold hearted or nothing like that. But how can, like, if she die, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm speaking the truth. And y'all might disagree with me. If she passed away, and what you do, go pay respects for somebody, I, I won't be there. I won't be there. And if all the things that I just said is kind of like, I can't respect you. I can't go pay my respects to you because of all of this and all of that. You feel me? I was homeless. Homeless. You think, hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So look, I thank y'all for tuning in. What was I say? What neighbor are you? Hold on. Shantae, we're a neighbor. I'm sorry, I ain't go through. I'm gonna go through the comments real quick. One thing I know, y'all still can share this before you get off. Please do that. It don't cost nothing. If you like my story, if you think I'm lying, you gotta share it. But please share it. Please share it. One thing. Hey, Shantae, what neighbor are you? Where do we live? I'm 3 hours away from you in Bama. I'm not in Bama. I'm talking about, do you know me or you just calling me neighbor? I'm not being funny, but I can't see your picture. But if you're not following me, please follow me. If you can, subscribe. I didn't ask y'all to share, but you don't have to. But I'm telling you, it ain't about the numbers, but I want this to go viral, viral, viral. And like I said, the point of it is, I was always taught, when you do something right. You hear me? And I've been gambling since I was 11. I started gambling when I was 11. You hear me? And I wish I would have known somebody that was that tree of life, because people are dramatic. People just, want to see the drama. And like I said, bad news travel. But when I walk in there, I'm saying, I'm going to call this morning. It's getting daylight. I haven't been asleep in 2 or 3 days. I'm going to call the prosecutor office to see if I still can. I know I can't, like I said, in Indiana, the statute of limitations is 31. All right. So I'm going to see if I can possibly still do a civil lawsuit. If I can't, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I want this to go so viral to where he can't sleep, he can't eat, to where conscience eat him up. And it's just like, I have 25 people in here. I don't know who you guys are. But if you are not following me, can you follow me? I'm talking about, look, this is only not even a tenth of the story. Maybe a 15th. You hear me? Nah, if you couldn't keep me on track. Okay, Shantae, you just saying neighbor, or when I said Uniontown, neighbor? I'm originally from Birmingham. Well, Birmingham, but Uniontown, Birmingham. That's what I tell everybody. Uniontown, Birmingham. So, yeah, I moved up here when I was 6 and everything. Well, you know what I'm saying? You might as well say, because I moved up here in July of 93. The next month, I turned 7. So, yeah. But like I'm saying, the only reason why I'm still living is because of my daughter. And in closing, I know that's the only people might say, I love you, and yeah, okay. I don't believe that. The only person that truly loves me, I don't have anymore. And when I said that, I'd rather die failing than living, knowing that I failed her. I mean that. I mean that. You're supposed to protect your child. And I fought. I fought. I fought. And you think if I reached out to my family and said, hey, I'm at the Indiana Supreme Court level, public defenders don't defend do these cases, and you actually think that they would help me? No, no. I had surgery, I didn't even want to ask them for something to eat. My phone was off. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want to ask them that. And it surprised me. It was like a week later, but she brought me $50 and said, "Take care." When I had surgery, never been in here. It's just like I never got the support, like emotional support, no support, like anything. And I used to think when I was a kid, as a teenager in my early 20s, this is another thing I used to keep up under the rug, but I'm grown and I finally said it. And it's like a lot of dead weight is off of me. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. You know what I'm saying? But it's like off of me. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I hated my childhood. I hated the home that I was living in because it wasn't love. I felt abandoned, and I felt like I was only there for the money. And when I was running away, and I don't know how my Uncle Mac found. To this day, I don't know. I'm talking about I would run away, and he will always find me. And to this day, I don't know. I didn't have no cell phone, and I wasn't even in the same places. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop running away. That's why I stopped running away. I swear to God, I would run away, and then it'd be a knock on the door, and I want to hear it, so he would talk real low. I don't know what he told. Next thing I know, I'd be like, Tasha. I was going by Tasha then. I go by TV. Tasha dead. No, I'm not saying what I mean by everything I went through in childhood. I'm not Tasha. But if you ever hear somebody call me Tasha, they've been knowing me for at least 15 or 20 years. I go by TV. But yeah, I'm talking about every time I run away, and I'm like in what? I'm like 11, 12, 13, 14. So I was born in 86. So we talking about 96 to 99, 2000. And I never, to this day, I never figured it out. I'm like, didn't he have no GPS back then? We got a GPS. I don't even know if they was, that's what it seemed like. He had a GPS on me. I'm talking about I wasn't in the same neighborhood. And like, I remember the last time I ran away, it was Oakland Line Court, Chapel Oaks, back then. And I knocked on the door, back there smoking weed, ain't thinking nothing of it. They made a little plays and shit. And then I hear, Tasha, the police out here looking for you. I said, oh my God, how do he keep finding me? I never know. I wish I knew the secret. But that's why I started running away. I'm like, you know what, just relinquish your rights, And at then, I was very smart. I was supposed to be, me and Keita, we was like sisters, but it was my cousin. That was her daughter. And I was wanting to be a lawyer and a doctor. I said, you know what I'm saying? But I graduated when I was 16. But I went into the wrong crowd. I went to the streets, and that's why I said if I have a daughter, I don't want her, to go down what I went. I want to support her. And still today, my only prayer that I ask the Lord, please just let me live to see my daughter graduate. Please. And it's like, even now, what I'm going through, 4 years ago, I would have been right back to the devil's side. And it's like, I don't understand. They say you don't supposed to ask them why. But my thing is, y'all remember that case? And I know I keep talking, but y'all remember that case in Michigan? It went viral. When that lady left her kids in the apartment for like 3-4 years. Okay, that's when my daughter was taken away. And it's like all of this time that I was going through my fight and my battle, this happened. Okay. It's so many kids went back to their parents that don't deserve them. And it's like, anybody that knew me, I love my daughter. I did the best I could. I spoiled her. Yeah, I'm old school. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. And I don't play a lot of shit and everything. But, hey, that's all I had. She was, you know what I mean? She looked just like me. Like, and it hurts. And it hurts. It hurts. You hear me? And then today I see parents and kids that mistreat them and abuse them and killing them. And just like that case when that little boy got kidnapped, the mama and daddy set that up for a GoFundMe. You know, with so many kids that's just, I don't get, Lord, why me? Why me? And I'm telling y'all, I am dying of depression and I am dying of a broken heart. I don't have the money to go to Indiana Supreme Court. I can't, like, I didn't lost the fight. But I'm still trying to think positive, like, okay, she'll be 18 in 5 years. I don't know if I'm gonna be here in 5 years. The foster mom said that she would do an open adoption, but who says she ain't gonna change her mind? So yeah. So yeah, and it's just like, I just gotta tell my story. And I said I am writing a book and it's gonna take some time, but it's like all of these are facts. And it's about everything, not just the molestation, my whole story. And then I'm gonna write another book, about what me and Manician went through, and it's just like I try to keep the faith. I try to, you know, but it's like depression has taken over. And the only thing I think about is my daughter. I think about her. And it just kills me how much I fought. And like I said, I had a place in the job and all that within 35 days that I got out. And they wouldn't even believe me. I said, when I get out, I'm going to do what I need to do. Just take her. And I told her, I said, 3 months at the most. Okay, this conversation had in jail in February. Okay, when my case manager came back and said, oh, they changed their mind, and they also said in February they would take her. I got out March 26th of 2024. I had my apartment within 35 days, job, everything. So it wasn't even that long. So I don't believe when people say love, and I don't disregard, I don't care if you're family or not, but it's like my childhood, and I'm adult now, and it's just like I have to speak the truth. I can't be fake. I can't, I'm not innocent. I done things, but I've changed. I've changed. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way I would have let, so, I'm gonna say granddaughter go into the system. That's the last place you want us to be. And it kills me. I don't sleep. When I got out of jail, my biggest, I was like 240. Never been that big. I done lost some. I'm down to probably like 200, 195 now. Losing weight. Can't sleep. Straight. I got bags under my eyes. So, but I thank y'all for watching me. And like I said, I am going to put my boots on the ground. And I just want this story to go viral. And I hope and pray that conscience eats him up, And there's one more thing I'm going to say. Y'all remember that story? I don't remember. It was a movie. T.D. Jakes was the pastor. Kimberly Elise, I think she was getting molested by her mom, boyfriend, uncle, cousin, something. But anyway, grew older, and the pastor, T.D. Jakes, he said, I want y'all to bring some to the pulpit. It was on BET. I don't remember. I got to Google it. But I always call her TT. Set it off. But her real name is Kimberly Elise. She brought that white dress from when, I don't know, like I said, I ain't seen it in so long. But she brought that white dress to the pulpit. And he was a pastor then. And I don't know if y'all know what movie I'm talking about. But that's real. You know how many times I've done that? I said, I don't got nobody to call. When I say self-control, you never know when a person may snap. And I done seen cases like this when people have done that and the jury acquitted. So, yeah. Like I said, if you ain't following me, please do. Please stay tuned. I'm doing my YouTube back up, but every day, hey, I just thank the Lord that I'm still here. And I done lost shit 3, 4, 5 times. And got it back again. Worked hard to get it back. And I'm my own family. And I am comfortable with doing that. I know I'm going to die alone. I probably won't have any more kids. And I just pray, and I just been praying that me and my daughter can be reunited. September will be a year since I seen her, talked to her. That hurts. She didn't grew up. She didn't got tall, missed birthday. And I reached out to her foster parents. She's so by the book, but it's like, why would I tell my own daughter? You didn't said that you ain't the same person. You done been over here. You didn't, we talked, but once my rights got terminated, she stopped communicating. And that's the thing. I don't care if you are a foster parent. You black just like I am. Even if my rights did get terminated, you know it wasn't for like molesting, like, you know, like abusing her. We was homeless. You came over here because I'm telling you, like, not to be racist with some white people watching, but them white people, when I say they painted a bad picture of me, they painted me out to be a monster. Hear me? She said, I want to meet her. You know what them white people told her? Be careful now. She might threaten you. She might do this and do that. See, people change. And you know, you can feel off the energy. And I said, I did used to do that. I did, you know, not everything. And then my mom and my daughter, foster mom, her case manager, like her life skills coach, she said the same thing. She said, "Ooh, they said you was, you know what I'm saying, still labeling me." Now I got out. I got a house arrest bracelet on. You know what I'm saying? I got out in like 2 or 3 weeks. It was my first time seeing my baby. I was in jail for 13 months. So let's put that all together. We're talking about 2 years and some change when you put it all together. Man, I ain't about to get emotional, but she was pulling out her hair. The second visit, you know, they cut my visits off talking about I'm the reason. You know, like then it was like, okay, I got a GPS anklet on. Like, well, we fear that she's going to kidnap her daughter. I'm like, and they stick together. I said, no, wait a minute now. GPS, I got an anklet, house arrest anklet on. GPS, like, why would I do that? I got 10, 15 years over my head if I go back. And these people believed it. Cut off my vision. I'm talking about the time I was on house arrest, I got out from March to November. Only had like 4 visits with her. So altogether, I ain't really seen my baby in like over 2 years. And some change. So it hurts. I respect them, but I'm not dealing with it. I don't want nothing to do with it. If I look, I'm not gonna watch you suffer. I'm not gonna watch you fall. Yeah. So like I said, y'all, I'm gonna get up off of here because I'll be on here all morning. But I'm hurt. I said, go watch my videos. I wasn't lying about that. And I just did a little verse of my soul has been anchored. On that video, it's on my TikTok. If you ain't checked out my videos, check them out. Follow me on Facebook, No Heart. All the information is on my TikTok. You hear me? So yeah. But I keep y'all posted. I'm gonna call today. Like I'm gonna come on here every day. Cause I get paid now and I ain't getting paid nothing but pennies since I don't be on here like I used to. But what time is it? 6:46. I don't even know what day it is. It's Monday. I'm saying I don't sleep. I don't. But yeah, so 8 o'clock, I'm gonna call the prosecutor office and I'm gonna call to see Indiana Department of Police how much is the lie detector test. You hear me? So when I come, like I said, I'm coming correct. And I don't know what may happen, but I want to do things right. I want to find out all this information, and then I'm gonna move forward. I just hope that he don't die. And I just hope before he do die, I don't wish death upon nobody, but I just hope that his conscience eats him up to where he get up one Sunday and say, yeah, Olivia, I don't know if he lived, today when we go to church, you know, you know, I'm going to speak upon something that I should have did a long time ago. And I hope he just confessed what he done. He don't got to say no name. You can say, hey, and say, you know what? And I should have stepped down a long time ago. But you may not be in jail. Hear me? But you going to burn in hell. You, Terry, and Philip, and all the other child molesters. Carlton Lynch did the same thing. I'm trying to tell you, like, I've been in this. Carlton Lynch did the same shit. Paid them to lie for him on the stand. And the charges got dropped. Man, look. These pastors, I ain't saying all of them like that, but You could tell a crooked one. You hear me? You could tell a crooked one. Then he come down here like we don't even deal with you. You done moved out of town, whatever. And when James got jumped at Pikes and it hit national news, now you want to come down here like for what? And then he was calling women bees and just being very disrespectful. And you call yourself a pastor? Your last name is what you gonna hang yourself with. Lynch. But I'm done. Anybody got any questions, you feel free to ask me. I said if you can follow me, follow me. Subscribe to me. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, all of that. Because, hey, as soon as 8 o'clock come, guilty was taking over. What you talking about, Miss North Carolina? And then it's like, I wish that, but Indiana is currently, because you see, when I was in deadlock and everything, look, I became my own lawyer. Like, I'm telling you, I'm smarter than, I'm very, very intelligent. And I don't even know if a felon can be a forensic pathologist, but I want to inquire about that because that's what I really want to be. But they are trying to change in Indiana for the statute of limitations to none. Because, wherever P. Diddy, wherever Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, especially about Bill Cosby. Y'all remember it was women 50, 60 years coming back after 50, 60 years talking about he did something. And I think every state should be like that. Because people might not be ready to come out or they might be scared. And, they should have, it should be no statute of limitations in all states because when a person is ready, let them come out. You know what I'm saying? You just can't give it to a certain age. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I hope that they do pass that law, but it's like, yeah. So I'm gonna call the prosecutor office and I'm gonna follow up with these questions. I'm gonna call the Indiana State Police and ask them how much is a polygraph test. And like I said, life is life in right now, but I want to get that. I want to do all of this immediately. The sooner the better. And um, I'm not trying, like I said, I don't want to ruin nobody's life. I'm not making this shit up, but it's just like, I should have been done this. I should have been done it. And I'm not God, but it's like, after all these years, how is this man still on it? You feel me? So I'm like, I need to put my boots on the ground. I've been, I'm just tired. And Terry, I'm coming for you too, man. Let me tell you the thing about Terry real quick. And Philip, see, that's how I know I'm not Moselle only victim. Because Philip messed with somebody else in the church before he even left. And I'm not going to say her name, but she was a twin. And me and her was very close. She was a twin. And if you went to community back then, you know who I'm talking about. It was two sets of twins, but these sets of twins came all the time. Okay. And Terry, you mess with, I really want to say her name real bad, but I'm not. And you mess with her, and the whole church knew about that. So it's like the cycle continues. The cycle continues. So I know I'm not his only victim. So look, I thank y'all for watching me. Share. I'm talking about, I want his phone to blow up like, hey, Moselle, hey, Dad, hey, hey, yeah. He gonna get tired of hearing it to where it's gonna eat him up. That's why I didn't tag him. And if he was on TikTok, I'd tag him on this. Hear me? So, yeah, I'll be back today to let y'all know what the prosecutor said and Indiana State Police. If whatever I gotta do, I want to do this in the next week or two with the lie detector test. Because I'm not a psychic or nothing. But you know what? You know how sometimes, they say the good die young? You feel me? And, some people, his revenge, maybe I never thought about it. Dying slowly, a slow, painful death. Because I could just look at him and tell, like, health-wise, and then, like, hearing his voice and stuff like that. But I'm coming for you. He said, I know you gonna come for me. Yeah, I ain't no page, and I'm a page, baby. Hear me? Hear me? And, this is, if I still, I ain't talked to my Uncle Mac, and it's crazy because, give me 3 more minutes. And this is what really upset me. I was going to church every Sunday. Hear me? Changed my life. Everything. Kingdom Door. I go back to Kingdom Door. So the person I used to live with, I said, hey, come to church with me. Come visit me. Told them where I was at. And, would never come. So, like I said, I was going every Sunday. Last year, I'm at church, in the, where I normally sit. Hey, Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want. Then, when you know somebody. So the people that I used to live with is walking down the middle aisle. So I'm like, okay. Not even knowing that my Uncle Mac was the guest pastor. I said, oh, that's why they here. So it's just like, and it's like even, I'm just so hurt. And it's just like after so many times, like all I did was invite you to my church. I ain't hating on Uncle Mac because I love him. I loved him. I love to hear him preach. And that was my first time hearing him preach in years. He even said to Pastor John, he said, hey, I hear my niece go here. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's why I want people to subscribe, because I'm even thinking about doing like lives and just talking about this shit. Like we can be our own therapists. And I go to therapy. What's today? Gotta go Wednesday. So he is like, who? And me, and even back then, my uncle had let Pastor Johnson stay in his house and they went to the hotel and blah, 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 blah. You hear me? But it hurt me because I'm like, for months, I've been asking y'all to come to church with me. Come to my church. I'm on house arrest, so I can't go to number one church. You hear me? And that just hurt me. But yeah, I was glad to see my uncle and old community members and everything. And yeah, so I love my pastor. And when I got out of church, when I got out of jail last year, I confessed everything. I confessed what I was doing on TikTok, when you know what I'm saying. I confessed why I went to jail. I told him about my sexuality and everything. The only thing I didn't tell him about was what I'm talking about now. And I actually texted him yesterday because I don't know if he got wind of it. He really ain't a social media person. But I said, hey, Dad, because all the women in the church, hey, daughter, he call us daughters, and the men sons. And I said, I really, and that is the final reason why I didn't go. Hear me? Because I need to talk to my pastor to see what he thinks, you know? And and this, and this is what I want to do, and it's okay if he don't, because that's another reason why I want to get the lie detector test, because I want him to walk with me. I want my pastor to go in there with me, but I got to, and I know he believe me. I know, what I'm saying, because even a pastor they know when you're lying. You know what I'm saying? So even if I told him, which I am today, and I know he's on Facebook and his people on Facebook. So hey, I'm like, hey, tell him to go to my page, watch. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell him, and I'm gonna ask him, is it wrong? And this is that, and I'm just saying this is something I have to do. But I want to get the lie detector test, and I want to go in there and I want to ask him, if you willing, would you walk with me? You know? So he's been a father to me. He's helped me, and I love him. I ain't been to church in a while, but yeah, I love my pastor, and he's a true man of God. And yeah, so yeah, y'all, I'm about to get up off of here now. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you ain't following me, follow me. YouTube, Snapchat. Somebody shut down my Facebook page, so it don't have my picture on there, but it is. It has TB as one of the profile pictures, but all of that is on my TikTok page. All right. So I'll be back later on. I appreciate y'all for listening to me. This is straight facts, no lies, my truth. All right. Thank you.